I was raised on a farm in Arkansas, and I was kind of small for my age. My parents took me out of school to work on the farm so that my sisters could go to school. And I got behind in my class. I went back to school, and I felt kind of ashamed to raise my hand to speak up. And other kids, they always made fun of me. They laughed at me, and I suppose they thought that I wasn't very smart. They never thought that I could make it. You know how it is, when people expect you to be a failure. But I did a lot of things. I dreamed of being a truck driver, like the loggers I saw in the big rigs. And I drove a big truck for 29 years and 7 months. After that, I became a business agent for the Teamsters Union. I went to school to study labor laws. And I raised a family, and I speak up, and I take care of my neighbors. When I came to Tucson, I lived in the worst neighborhoods in Tucson. And there was about 4 neighborhoods. And nobody ever paid attention to the neighborhoods. Only time that people cared was when the police department came to arrest the drug dealers. And the TV cameras showed up when somebody got killed. Most people came with a bad attitude. And they couldn't think about the fact that there were good people in the neighborhood too. You gotta weed out the bad people, and then you gotta respect the good people. So I set out to change the attitudes of the people in Tucson and the police department and the community too. I need to change their mind. So early on, I was going door to door to see how people felt about their neighborhood. I found out that there was rich people in the neighborhood, and this not poor people just like the TV and everybody else thought. There were white people, there were black people, and there were Hispanics, all kind of folks in the neighborhood. At one house, there was an old white man, and he was a millionaire. And I asked him, what were you doing there? And he asked me the same thing. He couldn't read, no, he couldn't write, but he had his own landscaping company, and he did well for himself, like me. Maybe people thought that he wasn't very smart, but I made it, and I looked at him, and he made it, so we hugged one another. I know that we made it. That's all I know. I figured that there was kids in the neighborhood who were just like me and him. And if they had a chance, they could do good. They could make it. I just keep going and get rid of the bad. I want to make life better for the people in my neighborhood. And now my neighborhood is safe. The kids can go to school. And the people ask me, how did I do it? I just can't stop. I just can't stop. Yeah, a lot of things changed in my neighborhood, but you know how it is when people expect you to be a failure,